Hey everybody, Susan Gerbic here. I'm going to talk about an article I just read. It's wonderful. It's just a wonderful article, and I'm going to show it to you, but I'm not going to break the paywall on it. Um, I had to sign up for a free newsletter and it allowed me to read the whole thing, but I will show you the cover of it, and then I'm going to just talk about it briefly, all right? Because it's really a great article, and I think that we should we should have a little conversation about it. So here's the article. AI is no way to revive the dead by Peter Savodik. And this is from November 20th, 2025. I'm recording this November 23rd. And this is really great. It's by the Free Press. I've never heard of the Free Press, but you can open a free online newsletter. You cancel anytime you want. And it's the fp.com is how you find it. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm not tired at all. It's not even like 9 o'clock here. It's only 8 o'clock. Okay, so let's just talk about some of the highlights of this and see what you think. I've been saying this for a while that I think that mediumship is dying out. Get it? Dying out in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, there's always going to be people who are attracted to this world, but I think that AI is going to just make this so much easier for people to be able to have some feeling that they're communicating with the dead and a lot of other things. Now, I'm not here to talk about AI completely. I mean, I think it's annoying. It seems to want to interfere in my life in so many ways. And then in other ways, I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. I enjoy it. I use it. It's helpful. But yeah, I think we're at the tip of the iceberg here, people. So, what this guy Peter is saying, he's talking about a story, a memory he has of his grandmother and him. It was, oh, I don't know if it says the actual date, but it was a week or so after his grandmother died. And he has a dream that he's in a Chinese restaurant with her and he's telling her about life and catching her up, and then she's giving him advice. Okay. And it's very powerful to him. And then so he starts talking about this company. Now, I'm going to say the company's name two way T two, the number two, WAI, and there's no space in between there. And it doesn't really matter if it's this company because there's probably 100 more, if not 200 more, that are just right there ready to, you know, seize on this market of grief market of grief. And what they're doing is you can feed, and there's a lot of different ways of doing this. Apparently, you can feed video or text messages or whatever to train an AI bot that will be your dead family member or loved one or whatever you want it to be. And I guess it gets better over time and it's more personalized. And you feel like you're having a chat with this thing and how this software. And I suppose you might be able to program it, or they might get good enough that they'll have their voice and their visuals and they'll look like they're talking. And I think that is only a matter of time before it looks pretty darn good and sounds pretty darn good. And then as our memories are constantly refreshed with this new information, what ends up happening is that will start to replace your real memories of the person that you really want to talk to. That's what happens. Our memories are not like putting pushing play on something and you always get consistently the exact same outcome. your memories tend to be overwritten, and we it's changeable, and it's hard to tell the old memory from the new memory. It's really interesting how our brains work, and I think it's dangerous to have new input that's false, because that's going to just mess up your old memory, unless of course you really want your memory to be erased. Maybe you've had a horrible tragic time and you want to rewrite your memory, and you knowingly say, I want my memory, I want this changed somehow. Okay, so um and yeah, I think I've talked about this in another video, that the AI is starting to encroach on people's dating lives and friendships and so on. They're using these as, instead of reaching out to human beings, real human beings, they're they're using these for their romantic relationships and so on. I don't even have an opinion on that. I'm just not sure that that's very helpful. And then it talks in this article, he talks about Jim Acosta, who is a reporter who used to be on CNN. And he had a conversation with an AI version of one of the students that was killed in Parkland, Florida. And the version that he was talking to, was an interview, and it was kind of Peter, in the article I'm talking about it for the Free Press, says it was kind of not great, that was kind of jerky, and it kind of didn't exactly sound right. But that was a few years ago, and this is only going to improve. Peter says that the AI that Jim Acosta was talking to was programmed to have to be really anti-gun, and it had an agenda, in other words. So, and then it also went on and said some other stuff about how he liked, his favorite baseball team was the Miami Heat. He loved Yoda from Star Wars, and he said that we needed to build a culture of kindness and understanding. So they programmed him, including his nickname Guac, and that was all programmed, so it felt like it had personalization to it, but it also has this agenda. That's kind of scary. So at first, Peter in the article starts talking about how this can be used to help out with people with not guilt, grief, sorry. Well, they might have guilt and grief. That's fine. So, but the real powerful things he says in here. Okay, I don't blame the tech lords for creating products people want. I don't blame the people who will use them. I understand wanting to extinguish grief. Everyone who has ever loved anyone understands this. Okay. And yet, I wonder who we will become after these products, those magical AI versions of sons and grandmothers and lifelong friends who have been taken from us too soon, are returned to us as though nothing happened. I fear in a few years, when we're interred to the new reality, we will have lost the dead even more than we have already lost them. We will have forgotten the person that was, and continue speaking or arguing or dating or loving them the way we want to. Nor is the grief tech industry going to help us resuscitate the person who actually was. It will enable us to create bespoke simulations of future interactions that include touch, smell, and everything, and it will immerse us in the new reality. Interesting. So he's talking about how he could see in the future him having conversations with his grandmother, and he tells her all about his life and what's been going on in the world, and she gives advice. She says things like, the kids the kids are growing up so fast, but their manners are not what they should be, but they need to be kids. Kids need to be kids. Um, and then he says the idea of being able to put her on pause, hitting a pause button and then going about your day and then coming back to grandma later and, maybe with a virtual headset you've got on, and he'd be able to just pick up where it left off on the conversation. That's not odd at all, right? Okay, he says, wouldn't it be wonderful to bring them all back, to remake our lives into a joyous, unending kaleidoscope of the dead and the undead, all of us together? Well written. This guy's quite a wordsmith. Okay. Except, of course, they wouldn't be coming back. The dead would stay dead. All we would be doing really was deluding ourselves into having experiences that never took place, that could never take place, that a computer had constructed for us, knowing that curling up in the arms of a parent or grandparent, pretending that life is a sitcom and no one ever dies, is the most powerful narcotic ever. But it is a narcotic, which is to say, it is bad, unhealthy, and dangerous. We need loss and will regret losing it. That's really powerful right there. We need loss and we will regret losing loss. Wow. We will miss the knowledge that one day we will not have this person next to us. So we better make the most of being with them right now. We will miss that pressure to pick up the phone or declare our love or prioritize the important things. And we will forget the burden that the dead place on us, which is to carry them forward. Wow, that's really good. That's well said. We will miss the pressure to pick up the phone or declare our love or prioritize the important things. And we will forget the burden that the dead place on us, which is to carry them forward in our memories and, more importantly, our decisions. Wow. The AI version of my grandmother will never be my grandmother, just a simulation of a person that I fear will eventually smother the person who was. I don't want to lose that person, as tantalizing as a possibility of seeing her is. I want to remember her, not her. I want the past to remain the past. Very interesting. He has a really good point too at the end of the article. He says, I wonder a lot about the dying. The old man on his hospital bed, staring into the faces of those he's about to say goodbye to forever. They are not about to say goodbye. What should be a shared grief, a connection that binds parents and spouses and children, will have been undone. The dying man will look into the eyes of the healthy, and he won't try to reassure them that everything will be okay after he's gone. They know everything will be okay. Instead, he will feel something else: resentment, fear that he might be turned into someone's political prop. He will leave the world knowing that shortly after they've lowered him into the ground, the people who once loved him will carry on laughing and talking with his inanimate, more robust version of his former self, the version that spares them the pain of his protracted decline. He will wonder, do they hate me for putting them through that? No matter. They will have a marvelous time when he's gone, and he will know before he's gone that it will be marvelous, and he will wonder whether they will prefer him or the other him. And that will be the last thing he feels. That's a powerful article there, right there. So again, I'm not showing you screenshots of this. I cannot get behind it without getting a subscription, and the subscription is free. And this is just really powerful. So they're going to send me an article or so in my email, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. This looks like a well-written, well thought out kind of person, and you make some really good points. this is not something we can stop. It is not something that, I mean, it's going to happen, and it's $1 billion industry, if not more. Look at what happens with these mediums that continue to say that they're talking to the dead. And think about that when you see a medium who says they're contacted your dead loved one, and we know it's not real, it really, each time you do that, each step you take, that's rewriting that little piece of person that you knew. Maybe it feels good. I'm not sure that that's healthy. And like he said, that we need this loss. We need to move through it and learn about it and appreciate it. The idea that you could just pay a psychic $100 and there you are talking to them again, is that helpful? Is that something that's going to help you move on and learn to deal with it, and that everything's okay on the other side? Everything's always okay on the other side, and they're watching over you and they love you. Feels kind of good, but when you find out that it's not real, how does that feel? Should we always keep them in this abyss where they will never find out that it was fake? Because people evolved to learn that this mediumship stuff isn't real. They're actors, they're performing. This isn't healthy. So again, as I always say, these are adults paying for this. It's illegal. Apparently in some places it's unenforced and it's illegal. But mediumship and fortune telling and all that kind of stuff, I don't think it should be illegal. I just hope that people see it for what it is, that it's not real, and that we have the media and influencers and celebrities stop endorsing it. And maybe it'll kind of phase down and go away or something. I doubt it will completely go away, except maybe AI will replace it. It's very interesting. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this article for a while. Again, I hope you guys check it out and tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think that it's very harmful for mediums to communicate with the dead because it's erasing memories and replacing them with other memories that aren't real? We already know that mediumship is dangerous because of so many of the mediums that prey on people. They influence them to make medical decisions or to not get their medical decisions met, medical needs met, financial. I mean, we know all this. I've got videos after video after video of people manipulating women, mostly women. I'm thinking of, if you want to watch one video of all my videos, look up one called PB&J. I was just using that as an example on an interview I did the other day, and I rewatched the clip I showed, and it was very painful to watch Thomas John manipulating this poor woman who had a friendship with this man who had died, and the friendship was very consuming for her. She's posting long after he died on her Facebook page about her grief. And in the video that Thomas John does, and I can't remember if it's in my video or not. I think I took it out because it was just too personal, but I talk about it, and I say that what this woman had a friendship with this guy. I mean, they were like best friends, like peanut butter and jelly, PB&J. They were together a lot. They hung out all the time. They were really, really close. But they were just friends. There was nothing there. I went through her Facebook page and I'm looking through it, and there was no intimacy of that kind. There was no, they were just not that that minded. It wasn't going to happen. No. I mean, nowhere did I get that vibe. But Thomas John tells her, oh, well, he's telling me on the other side. Now that he's over on the other side, he wishes that that you guys had been a couple, that there would have been, maybe moving on to something permanent. And this woman's like, what? Like, what? And he's like, yeah, that's what he's telling me. And the woman's like, oh my gosh. And she's crying and crying. And talk about manipulating somebody's emotions just for a buck, so cruel. Now this woman's complete version of her relationship with this best friend of hers is just, I can't even imagine everything that she knew, all of her senses, all of her thoughts about what her relationship was like with this guy. Nope. Thomas John has just completely rewritten that for her. So check out this video called PB&J. It's on my YouTube channel. I think you might find it a good example of how mediumship will change your perspective of the people that you love. And maybe you'll think about it in a different way, just like I did after reading this article. Thanks, everybody. Comments below. Appreciate it.